positions available.
I have work today, but the task can't be handled by you alone. Not unless you're far more capable than you appear. No offense intended. Would you like to hear? Ever see a Soul Razor Knight? It's an animated suit of armor fueled by necromantic magic. And the biggest one anyone's ever heard of threatens priests on pilgrimage near Steadfast Manor. It's called the Sable Knight. The priests want it destroyed. The Sable Knight leaves necromantic energy wherever it goes. You'll need cleansing water to dispel the dark pools in the Knight's area. Fortunately, Priestess Nyrona at the temple gave me a vial. She can tell you more about it. Still interested? No need to worry about your pay. House du Fort always has coin for mercenaries who keep up their end of the deal. And come back alive, of course. It's not really my area of expertise, but I presume you just hit it until it stops moving? And given the fact that the Sable Knight animates the bodies of its victims with necromantic power, I'd appreciate it if you didn't join its little army. I work for House du Fort. We coordinate the efforts of High Isle's knightly orders, local lords, merchants, and even friendly druids to handle unusual problems. I act as a broker, matching up adventurers like you with jobs that need doing. Common? I wouldn't say that. But much of the archipelago is wilderness. There are parts of High Isle that have never really been settled. Venture away from the city, and you'll find hostile druids, dangerous beasts, dark knights, and more.
Welcome, adventurer. If you're looking for work and prefer to handle jobs on your own, you've come to the right broker. Just let me know if you're interested. Excellent. Sir Charles, an old knight of the Order of the Albatross, requires someone younger and more capable than himself to brave the ruins of Death's Valor Keep. You see, no one remains of the Keep's original order to do what must be done. Gather the skulls of the fallen knights and bring them to me. I'll make sure they get to Sir Charles for a proper burial. If you have more questions, Sir Charles can be found at the temple here in the city. Can I put you down for this job? I have no other information regarding the job, but I'm sure you'll have no trouble completing it. Well, not too much trouble at any rate. Come back here when you're done and I'll have your pay. That depends on who requests the work. Personally, I am an employee of House du Fort. They more or less run things here on High Isle. But I represent merchants, knightly orders, and wealthy individuals who require help and have the goal to pay.
Hello. Would you happen to be looking? You've a determined air about you, stranger. Could I persuade you to help deal with the active volcanic vents that are popping up across the islands? Volcanic activity on the island seems to be reaching dangerous levels. If something isn't done to quell the forces at work, we're all going to be swimming in lava. The Stone Lore Circle druids are trying to stop it, but we need help. Get to the active volcanic vent and disrupt the activity there. It will buy us time. But be careful. There are many molten beasts crawling all over the place. You'll need a group to get through them. What do you say? I'll make it... Good luck out there! Try not to get too close to the steam coming out of the volcanic vents. I heard it will fry just about anyone's skin off. You'll be fine, I'm sure. It must seem strange to you. When I first traveled here, I found their Stone Lore Circle's work intriguing. I began to believe that Ifra is but a shepherd of Sithis' will. Change adheres to natural laws, after all. Trees fall down, not up, yes? They did not turn me away. Acceptance is not the core of my interest, at any rate. I consider myself a druid, but there may be some who disagree. Regardless, they have allowed me to seek help for the vents on their behalf, so here I am.
work, but questions still remain. I shall return to my order and report all that has happened. Until we meet again.
I hope you don't mind me saying so, but you look like someone who's good at cleaning up messes. I've got a big one for you, if you're up for it. I'd pay you for your time, but I need someone quick on their feet. This mess is turning into a crisis. I was experimenting with a spell while my mentor, Magister Iren, was away, but the magic went awry. If it doesn't get dealt with, it's going to spread beyond this area and harm a bunch of innocent people. I can't fix it on my own, so I need help. I need to develop a counterspell, but first the protective wards around the area need to be restored by someone other than myself, so I don't taint the magic. That's where you come in. Like I said, if you help, I can pay. Hold still. You'll need this unless you want to spend the next few hours as a sheep. Not as glamorous as it sounds. And here, take these crystals. You'll need them to restore the wards. The first one is in the meadow just up the hill to the north. Mostly they serve to keep errant magic inside Tordriak's boundaries. You know, the standard 3 points of protection thing. Unfortunately, my spell kicked those wards in the teeth. They're not protecting anything now. The spell I created has my magical mark on it, if that makes sense. There are certain types of magic that can be affected by their creator, intentionally or not. Messing with forces already attuned to you can have unpredictable results. Exactly. Magic is powerful and great and all that, but it can be pretty sensitive. Fussy, Magister Iren likes to say. And since my spell is already wreaking havoc across Tordriak, I'd rather not take any unnecessary risks while fixing it. The name's Ember. Well, technically it's a nickname, but it's all I use. I'm Magister Iren's apprentice. I think he regrets taking me on sometimes, but he's got a big heart. He saw that I had no formal training, and told me to come here to learn. This is Tordriak. There's a big wizard's tower, you can't miss it. I've been living there with Magister Iren, plus a few people who keep up the grounds and the tower itself. All of whom have been affected by my spell, I'd guess. Here we are. I'm going to cast a little pure. Let's do this quick. That's one ward restored. Let's go fix the next one. It's in the glade just west of here. I really really should have paid more attention to Magister Iren when he was explaining how these protective wards work. I should have paid more attention to him in general, actually. The next one is in the glade. It's just across the way to the west. Unfortunately, no. The wards are just to keep the unstable magic inside the bounds of Tordrea. That way, I can work on a counterspell without worrying about the original spell spreading. Magister Iren made sure I knew what they were and what purpose they served as soon as he took me on as an apprentice. He wanted me to be familiar with as much as Tordrea as possible, or at least the parts that keep it safe.
Never used to fight this much, until I met you. Here we are. I think it's an hour. You play for warden.
Oh, you're a natural! Maybe you should have been Magister Iren's apprentice.
Alright, no cry for mommy.
This is the last one. Let's get this over with quick. That's all the wards. Let's talk outside. I need to figure out what to do next. I know my rogue spell is to blame for most of the weirdness happening around Tordreok, but it almost seems like these damned moats are becoming dangerous. They're doing more than just mischievous magic. Ugh, fish biscuits. I need to figure this out. I'm not sure. The moats aren't new. They're always hanging around Tordreok. I think they're drawn to places like this. But there was nothing in my spell that should have made them act malevolent. And there are a lot more around than usual. Yes, I can make traps to contain them, but I'm still worried about their behavior. While I work on the traps, could you head into the tower and look to Magister Iren's things? He might have a book with more information about the moats. See if you can find anything in the tower about the moats. I'll meet you there and start on the traps.
This is ridiculous. I knew Magister Iren should never have taken in a mangy cat like you.
Relax, Huldressa. I'm working on it.
You better work fast, because when Magister Iren... What the... Oh!
All right. That was a little funny. You in here? Did you find anything useful about... I finished the traps. Once we set them up, they should take care of the moats. Then I can sort out the livestock and hold Dressa, and at some point create a counterspell to fix everything for good. Did you learn anything useful? Oh, I read that one, with the Wind Sorrow lady, right? Oh, what if my spell disturbed her and that's why the moats are acting up? That's troubling, and also a problem for future Ember. Let's focus on one thing at a time. Or two things, actually. The traps are finished, but the livestock and Heldressa are still a problem. I want to figure out a way to return them all to their natural forms before the illusion does any damage. Could you set the traps while I do that? Here, I'll mark some places to set the traps. They're in a pack by the work tables outside. While you do that, I'll figure out how to fix the livestock and Heldressa. Then I can work on my counterspell. Meet me by the life... Good luck setting up the traps. I'll meet you by the livestock pens when you're finished.
You don't look... Good to see you. Not much thus far.
This place is vast. Old, too. How much stuff do you think this place has seen over the years?
My prize.
There, the bear.
Now I reap the harvest of the blade!
You get to die. Exciting? I wonder what we'll make from you.
ancient. Why is it that dwell... You're ours now!
All right, let's get you two back. You're back! The traps worked, didn't they? See? I told you I know what I'm doing. Mostly. Speaking of which, I think I figured out a way to return the livestock to their original forms. I made something. I know it looks like a spoon, but, well, technically it is a spoon, but I enchanted it. And I call it the Spoon of Undo. I just tested it on those chickens. It removes the illusions perfectly. Normally I wouldn't bother, but illusions can be disorienting and cause terrible headaches. I don't want any of the animals suffering while I come up with my counterspell. Oh, and Huldressa. I suppose I don't really want her suffering either. Here, take the Spoon of Undo. If you could run around and fix the livestock and Huldressa, that will give me a chance to finally whip up this counterspell. By the time you're finished, I'm sure I'll have something figured out. Just look around for people making animal noises. I'm sure they won't be hard to find. And it sounds cute when you say it. It's a pretty simple reversing enchantment. It should counteract the magic from the motes and dispel the illusion. Basic stuff, not even I can mess up. I wasn't trying to turn animals into people, I swear. I had a theory about animating the inanimate. One of Magister Irin's texts gave me the idea. That's probably why he locks so many of his books away, now that I think about it. I'll be in the tower working on the counterspell. Come find me when you're done.
This is all Emma's fault.
Fish biscuits. That wasn't right. I assume Huldressa is back to her charming self? I've run into a problem. I have good news and bad news. The good news is that I've nearly finished my counterspell, but I need to find a tome called The Mirrored Way to complete it. I know Magister Irin has it, but it's not with the rest of his books. That's the bad news. Because if the Mirrored Way isn't with the rest of his things, it's probably locked away in his arcane library. The library he specifically forbids me from entering. The tome I need has to be in there. Without it, I can't make the counterspell. Magister Irin has warned me not to enter his library 1,000 times. But these are special circumstances. There will probably be some magical traps inside meant to keep me out. So I'll need your help getting the book while I deal with them. Once we find the Mirrored Way in Magister Irin's library, I can finish my counterspell. I just hope the old man wasn't serious about putting something dangerous inside to keep me out. He was definitely not sure. I picked the lock on the place as soon as I figured out he didn't want me getting in there. He's since put up protections and told me to stay out unless I have his permission. I'm sure he's got some kind of ward or barrier set up. It wasn't hard. Mages like Magister Irin tend to think in very magical ways. They'll put magic reinforcements over every inch of a place, but forget a few pins and a good ear can foil them. And to be fair to him, I'm a very good lockpick. Necessity. I wasn't exactly raised in the lap of luxury, not even in the lap of genteel poverty for that matter. You get good at things like that if you don't want to be hungry, or caught by guards or angry merchants. Follow me, the library's downstairs. Give me just a moment to pick the lock. All right, let's get in and out as quick as we can. I don't sense anything. Maybe the old man was bluffing. Fish biscuits!
I warned you, Ember.
This spell is specifically targeting me. That's it, you got it! Now, let's get out of here before I set off something else. Magister Irin I didn't know the old man had it in him. He had something to target me specifically. What a sneaky old goat. Good thing I had you with me. You managed to get the book, right? Let me see it. Let me take a look. No, not that. That would be bad. What about this? Oh, here it is. It's Amahan ist Exis, not Gahan Amexis is. Good thing I checked. See? That's personal growth right there. 2 different arcane glyphs. They do entirely different things when written and pronounced aloud. The second one is what I need for my counterspell. Now, all that's left is to get to the old ritual circle and cast this. The counterspell should set everything right in Tordrayak. Things will be just as Magister Irin left them, and I won't have to face his furrowed brow. I'll need your help at the ritual site. Casting a spell this big is a 2-person job. The old ritual circle is a place of power, and I'm going to need all the help I can get. I plan to draw on the magic there to help strengthen my counterspell. Magister Irin told me about it. This probably isn't how he wanted to implement the lesson. Maybe? Old tales and myths always start from some truth at some point in time. The moats around here seem to be affected by more than my spell, is all I'm saying. I always expect the worst. I find it helpful. If luck is with us, maybe just some irritated wildlife we can deal with as we've done before. Or some of the bolder moats. But if there is some truth to the ancient tales, then maybe. The ritual circle is just up the hill to the north. I'll meet you there. First, we need to set the ritual flames. There's 3 around the site. Light the 3 ritual flames here. I'll get the ones on the altar. Here we go. I could go for a bit of excitement. Almost there.
Disturb not my rest.
And I hope you're watching.
work under these conditions. I was turned into a guar. A guar!
Of course, Huldressa. I promise to address the situation.
See that you do.
Huldressa sold me out, didn't she?
Let me speak to your associate first, Ember. So, you were witness to the events here, and as I understand it, you had a hand in bringing them to an end. For that, I thank you. And if you'll indulge me, I do have a few lingering questions. I don't know what I expected, leaving her to her own devices here, even temporarily. Ember and Trouble are old friends. I can still feel the repercussions of this spell gone awry, as you say. Do I have you to thank for rectifying it? I see. As trying as she can be, she truly is a talented mage. She can be impatient, but given her natural inclination to magic, it's understandable. I always knew I was perhaps not the best teacher for her. I took her in because I knew I couldn't leave someone as skilled and impulsive as her to her own devices. But I have neither the time nor aptitude to teach her properly. It's my own failing. Speak to her, would you? I must collect my thoughts. Don't worry, Ember isn't in any trouble. While I am not pleased about my traumatized cook, I must concede that everything is back in order and the consequences of Ember's magic weren't dire. Still, I must consider what to do now. I don't mean to give the impression that Ember is incapable of learning. That's not the case. She's a bright mage, one of the brightest I've ever seen. Everything I've taught her, she's taken to like flame to parchment. But therein lies the problem. Well, just like a flame, Ember wants to devour everything around her. Her appetite for knowledge is ceaseless. That's good quality in a mage, but not necessarily one I'm equipped to deal with. By my own admission, I'm methodical, cautious, by the books. Exactly right. Ember needs someone who can keep up with her. Someone who thrusts themselves headlong into adventure so that she may temper herself and her magic beside them. Perhaps when I was younger, I could have been that for her, but not now.
Hey, you! Let's talk while Magister Irin collects his thoughts. I thought Magister Irin would be as mad as a wet dragon, but he looks amused. It's probably because he's wanted to turn Huldressa into a guar at some point. He just won't admit it. And the fact that we fixed it all before he got here helped. Well, I've been thinking. I'm grateful to Magister Irin, but sitting and reading about magic has little appeal to me. This whole thing just proved to me that I'm too restless here. I want to do magic, not just study it. Go on adventures, see things. I think it's time. I've been given good training here, but I still have a lot to learn. For me, the best teachers are curiosity and experience. I learn best by doing, so I need to get out in the world and continue my training. Ember the Sorcerer. I like the sound of that, but that can come later. First, take this. It's not much, but you deserve it. I think we made a good team today. If you ever need a sorcerer who has your back, let me know. We'd have some fun. Magister Irin, I'm grateful for your teachings and your patience, but I think it's time for me to move on.
The world is an excellent teacher for one of your talents, Ember. Do write me occasionally.
I should go pack my things. And say goodbye to Huldressa. Not a chance.
I'm here. Lucky you. Druids.
That bag either has something valuable, something useless, or a body part inside it.
About magic than I did before.
Good to get the blood pumping, right?
You want to talk about them?
Doing something with magic-y? And we're off!
Questions still remain. I shall return to my order and report all that has happened. Until we...
prepared for this.
If a few cultists are too much for you, best give up on the spire. Consider that a lesson in keeping on guard.
Keep them out of the prison!
You look good in shades.
Keep them away from the stones!
This place is enormous, Martis. Where do we even begin to search?
Focus, Lucilla. You can feel the aberrant energies here. Just focus.
This debris, I feel it.
How many arrows kill you?
It's time.
Keep clearing the path ahead.
I've no time for pleasantries. I'm up to my ears in cargo manifests. You have some business with me? Body? I'm sorry to hear that. He was never very sneaky. Always stumbling around in the dark. His night vision was horrible, unusual for a Khajiit. Expected? No. I'm just not very surprised. I warned him there was risk, but he was eager and needed the work. Looks like you'll be collecting instead. I'll gladly pay you for his piece of the map. Sure enough, this is definitely one of the map fragments I've been looking for. Balky actually managed to find it to his credit. Shame he couldn't claim the reward. Well, you finished what he couldn't, so here you go. Unless we've got business, I've got no more time to talk. I'm not a rich man, and I got work to do. I tell you to mind your business, but you've done me a good turn. I wasn't always such an upstanding citizen. I got involved with some unscrupulous things around Port Hunding. You caught up with me, and I found myself on Aminos soon enough. I befriended another exile from Hammerfell, an old pirate who captained the Scourge of Sentinel. He terrorized the crown for years before disappearing. He told me he split a map of his treasure among his crew, but they never claimed it. The old pirate gave me his fragment before he passed to the far shores, and told me the rest of his crew were still in the Sisters. So I tried to track them down. None of them seemed to still be alive, but following their trails seems to have paid off. I already hired some others to track down the remaining fragments. I'm not willing to double deal behind their backs, but if you happen across any other fragments in your travels before they do, then that's just their bad luck.
Always like high isle. Maybe I'll stay this time.
If they want to sail on the town, maybe distract that car.
I don't feel the burn of sulfur in my lungs. You did it, didn't you? You managed to close one of the vents. Great. You've bought us valuable time. Hopefully, we can find a more permanent solution soon. But that should at least prevent imminent molten disaster for the time being. We're not done with those volcanic vents just yet. The threat will come again, just as surely as the sun.
Can't imagine what the worm cult wanted with that museum in Rulinyo's Fall.
I knew you missed me.
You there! Can we speak for a moment? You look healthy. Walking about on your own, no shadows in your eyes. You're better off than most of the patients here, which means you're just who I need. Our patients have fallen prey to a strange malady. We could use some help. Ah, good. Then I can skip trying to convince you. But I promise to pay fairly should we succeed. I need to track down this affliction's source. Only patients at the manor seem affected. So I assume the cause must be nearby. Sadly, very little. The menders stay busy tending to the afflicted, and the patients don't quite trust me enough to talk freely. So I need you. If you track down the cause of this malady, perhaps the menders can do something about it. I'd suggest you talk to some patients who are feeling its effects. Try Arabil Vuls by the fountain, or Malagi. He likes to watch the sea. Oh, and speak with Mender Talil, too. She's inside. I'll be waiting upstairs when you're done. I can give a first-hand report. The first symptom is the nightmares. I'm familiar with dreams of war, but these were somehow more horrible. I remember eyes around me, peering from darkness, and screaming. Constant screaming. Other patients have fevers and fits of shaking. Some become confused, believing themselves back on the battlefield. I had to subdue a dark elf who turned on a mender. Seeing the others like that, I hope that's not where I'm headed. Fortunately, no. I'm lucky, though I dread the day when it comes for me. The malady doesn't seem to strike the same way twice. That's one of the factors that has confused the healers here. Like the others, I fought for my king, until I caught a spear in the gut. I laid in the mud for hours before an orc shaman found me. She dragged me back to camp. I ended up in a Breton infirmary. That's when I got the offer. A representative of the society came to my bedside. Told me about a noble plan to foster peace in Tamriel. She described how I'd recover alongside my enemies. I thought it sounded overly optimistic, but who turns down a stay by the ocean? Oh, I dream of peace, friend. I've seen too many friends killed, and too much blood spilled to wish otherwise. But I also know that the powerful crave more power, and they don't seem to do much of the fighting or bleeding for it. The manor belongs to Lord Bacaro Valoris. He formed the Society of the Steadfast to work for an end to the Three Banners War. The Society brings wounded soldiers from all sides here to recover. They hope we'll find common ground with our enemies. I guess I'm the guard. Usually the patients mind their manners, or they're in too much pain to cause trouble. But we're all soldiers. When fights break out, I settle them. which means the other patients don't really open up to me. I fought for the Daggerfall Covenant. Even before the war, I marched under its banner. Now here I am, guarding this hospice as an unknown malady torments the minds of their fellows. I guess their suspicions are only natural.
Such a calming vista, yes. The sound of waves lapping at the shore always used to bring Milagi peace. But now, Milagi feels like he may jump out of his fur. Fear ripples through Milagi as if he faces battle again. This one believes so. Milagi was beginning to feel strong. He planned to return to his family in Riemann. Then, at dinner one evening, Milagi could not catch his breath. His heart pounded, his vision darkened. Only Mender Roslin could calm him. Mender Roslin is a master of alchemical remedies. She mixed a powder into Milagi's tea that calmed the storm. Yesterday, Roslin told this one she might have a cure for his sickness, a new potion that looked promising. But she has disappeared.
Oh, bother. Milady's gotten herself into terrible trouble. Oh, what a fortuitous turn of fortune. Once again, you appear when Lady Laurent and I need you most. You see, I find myself in something of a pickle and could use a modicum of assistance. Tell me, friend, how good are you at breaking ancient curses? Yes, of course. Milady always says I misplaced my head if it wasn't attached. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, the curse. My mistress, Lady Laurent, was hired to help prepare this site for some important meeting or another. Then disaster struck. Well, usually I'm the one who stumbles into trouble, but this time Milady found the old chest. It was so unlike her to open it herself, and that's when she activated the curse. I'd gladly give you my annual stipend if you help me save Lady Laurent. Oh, thank you. You've lifted a great weight off my shoulders. Come along. Lady Laurent is along the southern coast. Do prepare yourself. The curse has made Milady a different person. Literally. She's been possessed by an ancient sea captain. Well, I'm far from an expert in such matters, but it started as soon as Milady opened that old chest. Lady Laurent immediately changed and started acting like an ancient sea captain. She's certainly not her usual demanding self. Because as soon as she opened the old chest, her posture changed. She started to swear like a sailor. Claimed she was the captain of a great sailing vessel and ordered me around like a lowly deckhand. It was even more degrading than usual. Mostly because the sea captain rambled about the curse of the islet and the curse that binds his spirit, etc., etc. Made the hair on my neck stand on end. To think there's someone in there with Milady. Oh, it's very troublesome. And you as well, my friend. I just wish that one of your visits didn't involve the imminent demise of either me or my honored employer. Lady Laurent will be happy to see you, especially if you manage to remove the captain's spirit from her body. Not very much, I'm afraid. He's boisterous, confident, and rather bawdy, if I'm being honest. I detest him, and I can't abide such a depraved individual taking up residence in my mistress. It's unseemly. Come along, and you'll see for yourself. Technically, it's an islet. All Flags Islet, to be precise. It has some historical significance, but that's more Milady's area of expertise than mine. I believe it used to be some sort of monument or museum. Just that, I noticed a lot of historical plaques scattered about. They talk about the All Flags Navy, which I think was rather famous in its day. The Society of the Steadfast hired Lady Laurent to preserve the site prior to their big meeting. Oh, I'm just a meager, put-upon manservant. I wouldn't know anything about such monumental events. Well, I may have heard a mention or two, so yes, I suppose ending the Three Banners War is the purpose of the big meeting. Confidentially speaking.
What'd you pinch? You've got to be kidding! We're better than this.
Shameless.
Am I in trouble? Sorry, I just always assume. All right, but can we do it fast? Traveling with you is a good time. Better than sitting around reading books. Hey you, everything all... Sure, I guess. I hate standing around and twiddling my thumbs. Any activity that I could fall asleep during is usually one I won't enjoy.
I'm sorry, but I can't talk any longer. I do wish to help any way I can, but the patients need me, especially in Rosalind's absence. Good luck in your search for the affliction's cause, and alert me if you stop feeling strange. In Interesting. Well, he's a good man. If he thinks you can help, then you can stay. But if you start hearing voices or seeing strange things, tell me straight away. A shame that Mender Rosalind's not here to speak with you. We truly need her. I'm afraid not, and that worries me. You see, Rosalind isn't one to abandon her duties, and some patients have vanished as well. Just gone from their beds when we check on them. I shouldn't talk about this. People are upset already.
Mara's bosom, he's a dull one.
Would not do that if I were you.
I was told they weren't taking new patients, not until they figured out what's going on. Still, welcome to Steadfast Manor. I'd offer a tour, but I don't quite feel up to it. Haven't slept in days. I can barely stand up straight. Affliction? A good word for it. I can feel it wearing away at my mind. After days without sleep, my thoughts are cloudy. I'm a shell of myself. Mender Rosalind's tonics help some. She knows what she's doing. Unlike some here. Master Healer Verlaine only manages the symptoms. He sedates us or just offers comforting words, but he won't seek out the root cause. Rosalind studied this affliction. She believes it's a curse of the humors, but she needs more research. I thought I was never going to walk again. A wood elf snapped the bones in both my legs. How the little fellow managed it still baffles me. And again, I can't recall much of the battle where it happened. Flashes of memory and no more. I was carried to the healers, but they had to save their magic for the mortally wounded. So I got wooden braces and some bark to chew on that dulled the pain. My bones healed all wrong, made walking constant agony. Somewhat, Master Healer Verlaine was frank about how I'd suffer more before I healed. They had to re-break each bone and slowly knit them back together. But the pain lessens each day. I can shuffle around now. For that, I'm grateful. I was a true believer from the moment I heard of it. I felt no hatred for my enemies. I only fought as I was ordered to. I like the idea of learning about other peoples. I admit, I was delighted when I first arrived. Now, my mind is slipping. Something is spreading among the patients. It makes us lose ourselves. I have to think it's a deliberate attack. One of the other alliances is doing this to me. Perhaps coming here was a mistake. Well, we're not close, but I respect her intellect. With her knowledge of alchemy, she could do anything. She chooses to comfort and heal people. Aiding the weak isn't a choice I would make. But now that I'm in need, I see the virtue of it.
But we might find something in there we can use.
You've made your thoughts clear. No one enters the dispensary.
Maybe you heard. My talk with Master Healer Viralane was unproductive. He always sticks to procedure. No sense of urgency with that one. Well, how did you fare? Learn anything from the patients? Everyone respects Mender Roslyn. She's got a rare combination of kindness and skill. And between you and me, she plays a strong game of cards. Now that I think about it, I haven't seen her in a while. Where could she be? Strange that this affliction shows up at the same time people start disappearing. I don't believe in coincidences. Why didn't Viralane tell me about this? Sure, I'm not a member of the society, but still. Anything else? Then we need to get into the dispensary. That's where Rosalind worked. Viralane has a key, and so does Mender Aldvar. Get the dispensary key from one of them, and go take a look around. I'll keep watch while you're inside. Try flattery, if you're good with words. If you can impress him with some alchemy, he might trust you. Or maybe mention you're searching for Mender Roslyn. Those two are close. Nothing untoward, I don't think. But they've worked together a long time. Roslyn told me once that Viralane personally chose her to join the Society of the Steadfast. He respects alchemists, and there are few better than Mender Roslyn. Well, I've never seen a lazier Mender. I bet you can find him asleep on the docks. Now, I'd never suggest you steal the key from his pack, but if it fell out and you picked it up. Yeah, and I have no idea why. Aldvar doesn't offer much to her. No real strength in herbalism or alchemy that I've seen. I might be too hard on him. He does get along well with all the patients. Perhaps Roslyn has a soft spot for the mediocre. I guess you could pick the lock, but you didn't hear me suggest that. Supposedly, I'm the security here. This affliction keeps the Menders busy, so I doubt she'll be noticed. Just don't break the door. We can't let patients take what they want. Sorry, Mender. It's, closed for cleaning. Don't worry, I'll let you know when it's open again. Shouldn't be long. Hey, you almost done in there? I can't keep this up forever. Ah, there you are. Find anything? I can't believe that Mender fell for the old closed for cleaning line. Well, did you find anything? Can I see it? This is Rosalind's, all right. An illness related to vampirism? I might not have any more book learning than you need to swing a sword, but I think I would have noticed a vampire hanging around. What's going on here? Truly? I thought there was just one way to become a vampire, and it involved a bite to the neck. How do you know so much about vampirism? Well, no matter. This mention of harpy nests might be a lead. Perhaps you should check it out? Beware of the harpies. They can be vicious. I'd go with you, but I don't dare leave the patients alone with the Menders, or with each other. Not if they're fighting off some kind of vampire sickness.